Hiya, welcome back to another episode of Kickdown. It's an interesting one tonight. Here are your headlines. The train that breaks the mould, breaking into service. Metro bosses are still confident that 555s will be in service by the end of the year. Say goodbye to brands, Go North East is going corporate. An update on the Sunderland electrics. The end of the Versa. More streetlights at Deptford Depot in Sunderland means that the Versas could be getting withdrawn shortly. And the accordions of the north. Bendy buses have made a return in Tyne and Weir. First up, the 555s. It's now been revealed that Metro buses are now confident that the new trains will be in service by the end of 2024. That leaves less than 60 days until the new trains are in service. The £362 million new fleet has been in the design phase for nearly 10 years. So it'll be great to see one out on the rails shortly, and you best believe that I'll be on one of its first days. 4 drivers are now fully trained on the 555s, and it's been revealed that now 2 are out on training during the day. Here's a little video that I saw of 555 002 at Central Station not that long ago. Up next, say goodbye to the useless brands. Go North East is going almost fully corporate. There's only a couple of brands staying, which I'm going to pull up for you now because I can't remember them. The brands that are confirmed staying are Tynedale Links, Prince Bishops, Coaster, Key City, City Rider, the promotional ones, Elite Bus Driver, Get Your Bow on Board, X-Lines, Angel, Saltwell Park Vulture and Sunderland Connect. The confirmed ones that are going, the list is about twice as long, but if you can work them out, well done. Adventure, Peterlee Purples, all the Sunderland district stuff, Little Pinks, Voyager, Connections 4, Drifter, East Durham Explorer, Country Ranger, North Tyne Rocket, Super Shuttle, Crusader, Red Kite, Tyne Valley 10, Cobalt, East Gateshead Rider, DFDS and Durham Diamond. It's currently unsure what's happening to the following. 638, which is in Go North West livery, 721, the minivans 729 and 730, 6050, we don't know what's happening with that, Flexility, which will probably go, Poppy and 8319, we don't know what's happening with them yet, but yes, get your photos of the brands before they go. Speaking of other things that are going, it's nearly time for the Versas to be withdrawn. The oldest Versas have been in the fleet for, what are we on now, nearly 15 years, and they should be getting withdrawn in the coming weeks. The Berries should also be getting withdrawn as a result of the new streetlights coming in from Swindon, and that means that the 2 would have lost its brand. It's then expected that the Versas will then, the remaining Versas will then move up to Riverside for their final weeks or months in service, and then they'll get withdrawn probably by about at the very latest about February next year. Up next, still on the topic of Sunderland, I'm just going to backtrack. You might remember last episode I talked about the Utongs for Sunderland, the electric Utong E12s. Stuff's gone on with that. Wheatsheaf Depot has almost been completely flattened and is ready to get rebuilt with new electric chargers for the electric vehicles. They have been spotted on driver training. I can't remember which one it is. There's 2 at Wheatsheaf now, 73061 and 73068. A couple of them have been spotted doing route learning on any Sunderland route, so they're not just for the economics, they're for anything. And hopefully it's not long till they're in service. I'm going to assume they're going to wait until they've got the chargers put in before they actually use them in service. That would be the most logical thing to do. And then, a little bit of an interesting one. You might remember years ago, the North East had 2 very interesting routes that were had very interesting vehicles on them. I wouldn't say they were interesting routes. The allocation was the 58 and the X66. Now, you might be thinking, oh yes, they're up for Zebra funding. Don't worry, they still are. But that's not what I mean. The 58 and the X66 used to be ran by Mercedes-Benz Citaro Gs. Obviously, the G standing for, I think it's excuse my German, Gelenk bus, which I think means bendy bus. And a local coaching company, you may have heard of them, you may not have heard of them, you've probably heard of them, they do quite a lot of rail replacements, has just acquired 2 from First York, which means that bendy buses are now back in the northeast. And if you want to ride one, you're going to have to hop on a rail replacement at any time, a metro replacement at any time. The most recent notable thing they've done was run BG58 OLU, which used to be ex-York, 11103, on the peak time 900s for the Newcastle... What match was it? I should know because I work there. The Newcastle versus Chelsea match back on the 2nd... Was it the 2nd? I can't remember. On the I think it was the 2nd of November. Or was it? No, might have been the 30th of October. Anyway, they were on the peak time services for that. 11101 is expected to make its way up from Yorkshire to the northeast soon, and will hopefully get painted in that lovely 2-tone green livery. 11103, however, might have something special happening with it. Just one quick thing before we wrap up. The metro replacement that I literally just mentioned, that went amazingly. It was the 5-day long line closure while they replaced Peelaw Junction, and trains were back up and running on the Saturday after the closures, bang on time. Yes, so that is all for Kickdown. If you do have any suggestions, there is a comment, hopefully there's a comment section if YouTube's allowed it. Please just drop your suggestions in there, and I might include them in the next Kickdown video, whenever that may be. So, I guess all that's left for me to say is have a good evening, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. Maybe the 555s will be in service by then.